Hey, and welcome back to another coach's commentary from the 2019 Algoma football season. Going to be going through the second game of the season with you guys, and that's going to be Algoma versus Sevastopol, which is a team that we used to play way back when I first started coaching here in Algoma a decade ago now. But they moved to 8-man probably 8 years ago or so. And it's nice to be able to play them again. They're maybe 45 minutes down the road from us, so it's a little bit closer than some of the further places that we have to go. But when it comes to what they do, and a little bit about Sevastopol here, you can see that the score is pretty lopsided, with us winning 48-6, in control of the game the whole time. So a little bit about Sevastopol. They were the 8-man state champions in Wisconsin from 2018. They graduated a ton of seniors. We're going to be a little bit in the same boat this next season, in that we graduated 10 guys, and I think they graduated maybe 10 or 11. A lot of athletes. They were able to pretty much just match up on everybody and be able to cover people. We'll talk about their defense in a little bit. They ran pretty much the same scheme as they did during their championship run and stuff like that. But with Sevastopol, they were unwittingly helpful to us because we knew that we were probably going to be going 8-man before we made the decision. I was telling people about 5 years before we went to 8-man that it was probably going to be something that was in our future, because of the way things were going. And Coach V had been scouting them for a couple of years, where they would play a lot of times on Saturdays. So he would go to their games, film it, and then we would, kind of look at things and stuff like that and kind of see like, okay, this is what teams do, and be able to make our plans for how we were going to go to 8-man and stuff like that to make things easier when it comes to the transition. So we had 4 games of theirs, games from previous 2 years, and then also their first game we had. So we had a lot of stuff to break down. But again, the primary focus when coming up with the game plan was their 2019 game against Suring, which I'll show you guys a couple of cut-ups of, just so you kind of see some of the stuff they do. But again, when it comes to their defense, they kind of have the meta for what we see. I don't know if it's because teams kind of stole what they do, or it's just like a natural thing that D coordinators do for 8-man around the state or whatever, but they run a 4-2-2 defense. So there's 4 defensive linemen. They have 2 linebackers behind them, and then they have 2 corners. So they're running cover 0 man. If there would be multiple wide receivers, like a 3 wide receiver set or something like that, the linebackers just match up on everybody. And when you have really good athletes, you can do that, and you can be pretty successful. Again, Sevastopol won state in 2018, defeating some pretty good teams, of course. But if you don't have the athletes to lock everybody up, or you're facing a team that has equal athletes with you, then a lot of times it can be really, really problematic. And we've covered some of the basic things of that in previous coaches' commentaries. But they have really aggressive linebackers. They're blitzing a lot, or as soon as they read run, they're boom, coming up, and they're filling those gaps. Their defensive ends, they play contain, so their job is to funnel everything back inside, and nobody is going to get outside of them to make people have to cut it up north and south in order for the linebackers, corners to come up and make tackles, where they're not having to chase people to the outside and stuff like that. Again, our defense is the exact opposite of that. We want to gum up the middle as much as possible, so you have to go east and west, so you're not gaining yards. And then we have our safeties, corners, linebackers that are chasing and then making tackles for losses or tackles for very short gains. So a little bit different, but most teams run something like what the Pioneers do. It might be a 3-man front, a 4-man front. Sevastopol throws in 5-man fronts once in a while as well. They did that in this game. I don't think I have any clips of that, but they did that against our game when they couldn't stop our run. But the big thing there, and why I mentioned the defensive ends having contain, is that means that it is heavenly for traps. Me playing in high school, we came from a heavily trapping offense. So when we would face, like 5-3 defenses or 5-2s, 52 monsters, stuff like that, we would just be salivating because we knew that these defensive ends were going to be playing contain. They're not going to be really aggressive trying to dive inside of those trap blocks or anything like that. And then you could just hammer them all the time. So, of course, that's what our game plan was. So for Sevastopol's offense, in their first game, they ran it 57% of the time versus 47% pass. They were down, so I'm sure they didn't want to be 50-50. Based on their formations, it's not really built to pass. But their favorite plays, they like pitches. They have a really quick guy that I'll talk about in a few seconds here. Leads, basic pass plays, and their main formations, it's essentially an I formation with the quarterback, fullback, and tailback. We saw stuff like that in our first game against NEW, so it wasn't anything that we had to really make adjustments to from what we weren't used to already. And then for their second most used formation, they have that gun twins, somebody that every single team runs, except I don't think we have a gun twins formation, actually. But every single team that we play against and see on film runs that formation at least a couple of times. Pretty standard. One of the things that they do a little bit differently is for their two-point conversion. They run like this swinging gate concept where you see that that circle with the white dot. That's the center. And they have the offensive lineman, how you're looking at the screen, way off to the right, and then a guy who can catch a pass. There's 2 eligible guys over there, and then there's 2 eligible guys on the weak side of the formation, on the left side there, and then the quarterback. So based on how teams line up, you can do a whole bunch of different things. You can do QB runs, you can do passes, you can do screens, all types of things. How I have drawn up there is how we were going to adjust to this formation. So we have, their main pass catchers. We have them locked up with our corners. We had Elijah essentially taking on. You're going to take on all 3 of those offensive linemen on your own, but we're going to have our strong safety up on the line of scrimmage and kind of 3/4 of the way to the formation, that if they would throw or do a side snap or something like that, he'd be able to get there as the ball's in the air and make the tackle. So it looks like we're really weak on the right side, but unless they were able to rocket the ball over there very, very quickly, we're going to be able to get in there and probably have an unblocked guy having a shot at making a tackle. And then for the 2 linebackers, they're pretty much matched up on the halfback and then also the quarterback, and then we're getting after them. So a couple of things to watch for the Wolves, of course. Oliver Robertson, this was his last game of the season, had I don't remember if it was an ACL tear. I think it was an ACL tear that he had, a non-contact injury. Barely caught it on film where he's just making a cut, and on a kickoff coverage team, and there it went. But this was a great game for him. He had more all-purpose yards than Sevastopol had in total offense, scored 2 touchdowns, had a lot of great runs, did some really nice things from his corner position as well. The whole defense, of course, great performance, gave up only 126 yards of offense, and I think we might have even had them at under 20 yards before the 4th quarter when we sent in the young guys. So amazing defensive performance. Again, that goes a lot to the players, the things that they do in the offseason, but then also understanding what the offense is trying to do and doing your job on every single play, being able to communicate all that stuff that we preach making very, very smart defensive players. Brett Benish is also a good guy to watch, number 7. He led the team in tackles as a corner, which in terms of tackling responsibilities, our corners have the least amount. They are coverage guys. When we invert our safeties against like these strong run formations, they're playing back. So having 7 tackles from his corner position is really, really good. But then also as a blocker, very, very good on offense, where he's getting after guys downfield, trying to spring guys and stuff like that, being very, very aggressive. So for Sevastopol, the guy to watch is number 25. He's an all-purpose type of guy. They'd move him all over the place. But he's young. I think he was maybe a sophomore this year, but he has a lot of quickness, as you'll see, and he's going to be a tough kid to stop moving forward in the future. Probably next year or the year after, when we're getting ready to play Sevastopol, it's going to be 25's the guy that we got to stop, and hopefully we can be able to keep him contained. Because if you give him a little space, you can see him turn on the jets and really, really move. So I have a couple of cut-ups here of Sevastopol. They're in the white. They're the away team playing against Suring here. You can see that standard defensive front, those 4 D linemen. You could see those defensive ends playing contain. It's a little bit of their offense. Having some crossing routes going on here. Making a nice play. Offensive line doing a decent job. They'll do jets. See 25 there, being able to get the edge. Get a good gain. See them on defense here. How they're operating, that 4-2-2. Very aggressive linebackers. They can make plays. Got to get bodies on them. Got to get them moving. This is going to be a big run for a touchdown by 25. You can see that space with over pursuit to the outside, and then cuts that back, and then boom, he's gone. Fastest guy in the field. That's what we wanted to prevent, the little flying thing as he's scoring a touchdown. This is their swinging gate here. QB's not going to run very hard, and he's going to not be able to get in. It's going to be a passing touchdown here. Has some crossing route action. That was by design, where you'd have the 2 tight ends. One of them would hit the guy that was supposed to be covering the other one, which is like totally pass interference that they would get away with all the time. And they did it a whole bunch in this game, which is why we did a lot to prepare for it. We warned the refs about it, but it really wasn't a thing that we had to worry about too much. So you also saw their swinging gate formation, where that was a side snap if you missed it, where the center is going to snap it to the side. It's not going to go between his legs. That is legal, of course, and they were able to get that 2-point conversion very, very easily. So when we were talking about getting ready, if they would happen to score on us, then we would have to get lined up and in our spots very, very quickly. So during practice, during the week, we would have a play, and then also boom, line up in it, and then our guys had to get to where they were properly in order to prepare ourselves for that stuff. They could also run in the middle of the field. Who knows? But we were prepared for it when it came to them when they did score on our JV guys. And then they lined up in that swinging gate formation. We lined up properly, and boom. I think it was a bad side snap anyway, but we had a guy right there, and Chase was going to be able to make that tackle immediately. So let's get into the game here against Sevastopol. Got Elijah Ritchie, ham-hocking it, toe-bombing it. And these were on purpose. We're doing squib kicks. So doing a slightly different offense from what we were used to seeing them do on film. But again, you had Chase come up, get that tackle right away. You can see that we're inverted with our 2-2-4. And then our safeties were up. they're able to transition into kind of a trips formation. Boom, we're right there also. Prepared for that. This is their punt formation. We're going to have Oliver returning kicks here. Of course, not able to do this one. This first series is going to be bad. We're trying to do some motion, and how we usually do things is we pretty much have a rhythmic cadence. It's the same almost every single time. Of course, we go on, different snap counts and stuff like that. But with this motion, we needed a pause, and our center just kept snapping it because he was waiting for the H in the hut. And messes it up 3 times in a row. And then by this time, we're like, we just got to get out of here. Really, really bad start to the game. And then we're punting. So our punt coverage was great. We're sending 3 guys down. Brett's going to have a great tackle there. And then we're back on defense. I was a little irritated, so I started blitzing a little bit more. Saw Noah Lucas there. Beautiful pursuit, except didn't have a guy in the backside. He's able to cut it back. Again, that's how we want things to look. We had guys right there doing a nice job on the front end. Play action pass, got it covered. And then making him punt again. Here we're going to get a good return by Oliver. Tough to bring down. And we're back into our normal stuff. Got a QB lead here. See, with linebackers as aggressive as Sevastopol has, they're coming right away a lot of times. They're blitzing a lot. Took a little bit for our guys to get used to. There wasn't a ton of blitzing that NEW was doing in our first game. So it's just something that something we got to work with. Trying to pick on Oliver a little bit. With the size difference, they're going to take a bunch of shots. I don't think they had any completions to that. And even though Oliver's not the tallest guy, Brett's not the tallest guy, they're physical, they're athletic, they're quick. You can have that. Again, you'll see we're playing way off. We didn't want to be up in the grill of teams. We wanted it to be that when they're going into that cushion of our DBs, that's when our D-line is going to be getting to the quarterback. And I talked about it a little bit in coach commentary too against Sturgeon Bay. If you have your guys all up pressing in people's grills and stuff, and that wide receiver gets a good release, the QB just has to throw it up and make the guy go get it, where we can contest balls by playing off. So don't get beat deep, but we're going to challenge all those throws that you're going to make. If you're going to throw hitches and slants and stuff, we're going to come up and smack you in the face. Got our trips formation here. This is when we're starting to realize the power of it. Elijah heard the Sevastopol sideline yelling pass because of that pump fake. So he stopped going downfield. which is why he looked a little bit ridiculous there. I don't think he ever made that mistake again. Always to the whistle, getting after guys. Oh, missed the touchdown. That's too bad. They're going to get a little bit of the between plays. All right, so it looks like we're back with the camera guy messing things up a little bit, where he was just getting the between plays. Don't worry, you only missed a handful. I think number 12 was kind of a younger guy as well, if I'm remembering correctly. Good play action fake. But again, Oliver's all over it. Another punt. Kicking it to Oliver. Did he lose that? I think he lost it. He did lose it. I was probably irritated here, so I'm going to be blitzing. That's usually what happens. Yep, there we go. Elijah Ritchie with a sack. What a pass rush. Using his bull rush. Another shot at Oliver. Yeah, we're really getting after it here. Another sack. Causing a 4th down, making a punt. Like a 4th and 22 or something like that. We're staying back and playing coverage, and then we're trying to knock them out of that range. So we're locking them up, blitzing, something that they probably weren't used to. Here's our end around. Nice kick out by Elijah there. Brett's going to turn on those Jets, score a touchdown. Elijah had a nice pancake block if you missed it. Must be tired because he's super high in his stance, but good enough to get the job done. All right, let's see who's going to get down and make the tackle. There we go, not bad coverage. I think we had Gavin Shrinka in on that. And they're going to run their swinging gate stuff in the middle of the field. We're a little late on it, but they false started. They bailed us out a little bit. They're trying to get a spark. Got caught the ball coming back to it. Trying to get us to cheat up on those motions, but again, Oliver staying disciplined, playing in zone on that play, coming up and making the tackle. Beautiful work there. ISO. Fantastic job on the back end. Chase Peranto, inverted safety position. Great job making him punt again. Go Oliver with a running start. At 25, I'll turn around. We're in business. Great field position. Must have false started. Had a trap or a G, it looks like. Got those yards back. Trying to remove 2 guys from the formation. Pass play. Getting Brett the ball in the open field. Here's an end around to Oliver. Another nice run. That must have been, maybe it was a trap since we usually don't take Brett out of the game, but nice run here. QB run. Zimmerman racing to the sideline. Easy touchdown. Oh boy. Lower that shoulder. Oh, I disagree with the not being in call there, Mr. Ref. But can't win them all. Got to converge a little bit better on these. Yeah, 2-2 defense is looking good. Everything's going how we want. We're motioning to trips, running the screen, got guys up there. That's an automatic adjustment that we have where the safety on that side can be super aggressive with the flat coverage. So they can come up and attack, and then we have 2 guys back yet. I think they're, this must be right before the half. Got us inverted. Gonna run a double pass here, or a pitch pass. Yep, there it is. So they actually tricked Oliver on this play, but Brett is gonna come across the field. He was in a deep zone, that deep half, but nobody else went out. So he came across the field and bailed out Oliver. And yes, I did point that out on the film. Saved Oliver's bacon. But great play by a senior. Good read by Oliver there. Looking like that was probably a G play. Cut it back a little bit. We usually want to get inside that block and then get outside. But if, again, with these really aggressive linebackers, over pursuit a little bit, he's able to cut that more north and south and find a gap there. We must be trying to score quick before the half if we're throwing the ball, going trips. There we go, good run. Getting some good yards. Decent pass pro. QB's running for his life. Big hit on the sideline. Another nice hit by Brett there. Gonna float the ball up. Gonna be aggressive, be physical. It's Algoma defense. Sending a blitz here, trying to get after the QB. Force a punt. Boy, Oliver, nice job. Good downfield blocking. Our center got that block to spring him for another 7-8 yards. There we go. Oliver in the open field, making cuts, spinning guys in circles, getting the touchdown. Beautiful run. That's where it's fun. You know, the last commentary I talked about how much fun it was to play offensive line. When you have guys like that who are making plays in the open field, making guys miss, it's great to be an offensive lineman. Getting after guys, blocking them downfield, chasing after DBs. Got a designed QB run here. Linebacker read it beautifully. That's Hunter Stuller. They're going to mess up the exchange, and Elijah's going to recover that. It was his first fumble recovery ever. He's pretty excited. Nice pop pass. Chase hit the weights. Don't let him grab your jersey and throw you down. I'm sure he's shaking his head if he sees this. Nice hole. You can see the play design there for traps. D-end's playing contained, kick him out. You don't got to kill him or anything like that. Even though Elijah would disagree, yes, you do have to murder everybody every single play. But again, that trap block, making that guy go outside of you. If you're pulling right, you block with your right shoulder, so you get your head in the hole. You're pulling left, hitting with your left shoulder. Very, very natural. And then we're containing everything inside. We're like a swinging door, keeping everybody inside. Get inside the trap block, get to the outside, then you're off to the races. It's a showdown with the safety. Unless you run a 4-2-2 and there is no safety. Good play design here. Kind of had a wheel going on. Good pursuit. Getting a lot of guys to the ball. We got some of the younger guys in here. Elijah Ritchie with the bat down. No big deal. You can put him anywhere. D-line, D-end, linebacker, probably even corner. He's going to lock you down. Throwing in our 3-3 or 3-1. We get some more D linemen out there. I think we're going to take knees going into the half. All right, so second half. We're in a pretty commanding lead here. We're going to get a bunch of young guys sprinkled in as the half goes on. Got Oliver with the ball again, making guys miss. All right, what do we got here? I think we're giving the starters a series or two, telling them to make the most of it. Good run to start out with. One of the things about being a physical team is, one, you're going to probably win a lot of games, but then also the other team just gets sick of playing against you. We've been out physical before. You know, in the old conference where we were, you know, like the second smallest team, we're playing teams that have double the amount of guys on the team than we have. Schools are, you know, 1.5, 2 times the size of us. They have a bunch of guys that can just get after us. And getting out physical is not fun. So it's always good to be on the physical side. And that takes aggressiveness. Great run here. Got guys blocking downfield. That's Hunter Stuller, our senior center, 30 yards downfield, making blocks for his quarterback. That's the stuff that we love. But again, if you're the physical team, you're getting after guys. That takes weight room. That takes aggressiveness. You know, that comes through, you know, like your senior leadership. That comes through with how you practice. And a really great group of seniors showing the rest of the guys, this is how we play. This is how we make a dominating team. And that attitude came from, you know, some of the senior classes that came before these guys as well. Just want to shout out those guys. Even though they're graduated and not on the team anymore, still making an impact. Guys like Max Shaning, for example. Zach Dellis. Not the biggest guys, but they're tough sons of guns. Great pick here. Couldn't believe the QB threw it. Carter in the right place at the right time. All right, so we got some JVs in here. Got Leighton Hagley. He's 21 with the ball. Good runs. You'd have Noah Lucas in the backfield as well, number 20. You'd have Caden Varden, number 4. He's a quarterback / wing. JV games, he was the quarterback. Good runner himself. So we got some of the older guys mixed with some of the other guys. We have Gavin Miller getting some time at, he was our backup center. Every single lineman, this was the thing that I wanted to make sure that we focused on. It was, Coach Ball left after a couple of years, the school district and on the team. Great coach. If you're watching these, shout out to him. I got to take the back seat to him for a couple of years for offensive line coach. While I was, doing D-line and special teams and D coordinator and stuff, so it was kind of nice to not have to plan as much. But yeah, taking over offensive line coach again. Going back to my roots when I first started with Dean Blonick back in the day. Shout out to you, Dean. Football coach for, I think it was 28 years before I retired from it. One of the greats in Algoma's history. But worked with him, coached O-line for a couple of years with the help of some assistants, and then back at it now. As I'm sure you can tell from looking at me, and then also, there you go, Brett. Taking a look at me and then how excited I get talking about O and D line play. My playing days, I was an offensive and defensive lineman in high school. I played 1 year of Division III, where I was a guard. Played tackle on scout team also a little bit. Played semi-pro. From 2010 to 2012 with the Sheboygan County Rebels. Played left tackle for that squad. Now I'm just down to flag football, where I play O and D line on that. You think flag football, oh, it's not a whole bunch, but it's like live on the line. You can't use elbows and stuff. It's all hands, which is how you're supposed to be doing things anyway. But shout out to my Vreeks teammates if you guys would ever watch this for some reason. I think champions of the league 6 years in a row. I think, was it 3 years so far I've been playing? 3 championships. A lot of fun. Great group of guys. But got Gavin Shrinka. DN there, 63 at the bottom of the screen. We have Asher Feast at safety too. Javen Charles with the tackle coming up and filling. Got Raymond Leslie at nose right now, 75. Another guy, senior, got talked out into playing for the first time. Great tackle here by Brett. But yeah, Raymond, he went on the Leadership Through High Adventure trip. We got back 2 days before the football season started. And I think it was Elijah and a couple of other guys on that were able to convince him to come out for football. I think he was pretty glad that he did. We were glad to have him. great young man. This is Sevastopol's touchdown here. This is what I'm talking about, this with the swinging gate. Chase was all over it. Even if the side snap was good, that was going to be a tackle for loss. Let's get some blocks. All right, it might be, yeah, we're fully JV now. Got Ethan Pavlon at center out there, 64. Pavla's a very consistent snapper. And some position blocking there, 77. Go good run. Noah, tough runner. Noah Lucas, number 20. Smart decision. Just fall on the ball instead of trying to pick it up and get killed. Getting to the outside. I think we got Jamin Charles blocking on the backside there. Maybe not. Couldn't tell. Got Ryan Pierre out there blocking. Got Carson Lishka, number 15. I think that was him that I saw. And we're taking these to end the game. Beautiful. Yeah, so still trying to figure some things out a little bit when it comes to 8-man. This was our second game, of course. But heck of a job. Another big win. Defense performing beautifully. Offense, we had those troubles at the beginning, but doing a great job after that, putting up some points, having some big runs, and hoping to carry that forward as time went on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this coach's commentary as we are in the lockdown and stuff like that, giving myself some purpose, talking football. A bunch of guys get to see this, community members and parents and stuff as well, kind of understanding what we're thinking without diagramming all the plays and stuff like that we do kind of for practices and stuff. But hope you guys are enjoying these things. I'm really enjoying producing them, and I'm hopefully getting better and better each time we're doing it, and kind of adding some improved features and stuff like that, even though it's maybe a little cheesy when it comes to my diagrams and stuff like that using Microsoft Paint. But I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are too. We'll see you next time.